My name is Paula Rauhala. My background is in philosophy and especially in the history of ideas. I have specialized in Karl Marx's critique of political economy, and this means that I have also been exposed to the classical political economy and classical liberal tradition. I think that knowledge of this tradition is still helpful when thinking about today's problems. In the coming 4 videos, I'm going to talk about classical liberalism in international political economy. Let us first define liberalism in IPE. According to Robert Falkner, quote, "Liberal political economy advocates a market economy that promotes individual enterprise. The state's role is to support, not hinder, the free interplay of market forces." Quote ends. In his textbook on global political economy, Theodore Cohn writes that, quote, "Liberals see politics in bottom-up terms in which individuals and groups seek to achieve their goals through political means. In IPE, liberals therefore give primacy to the individual consumer, firm, or entrepreneur." Quote ends. Let us now have a look at the historical origins of liberalism in IPE. In this video, I discuss the ideas of John Locke. One of the most important classical liberal thinkers who placed the individual at the center of political theory was philosopher John Locke. He was born in England in 1632, and he worked as a doctor and secretary for Earl of Shaftesbury, who was a central figure in the Whig Party. Many readers found support for the liberal Whig ideas in Locke's second Treatise of Government from the year 1689. In this book, Locke famously derives the origins of political power from the hypothetical state of nature. He writes that, quote, "To understand political power right, we must consider what state all men are naturally in, and that is, a state of perfect freedom to order their actions and dispose of their possessions." Quote ends. It is a state also of equality, and no individual has power or authority over others. So in Locke's thought experiment, free and equal individual men are the ultimate component parts of social reality. The next step is the justification of private property. Quote, "Every man has a property in his own person. The labor of his body and the work of his hands, we may say, are properly his. Whatsoever then he removes out of the state that nature had provided and left it in, he had mixed his labor with and joined to it something that is his own, and thereby makes it his property." Quote ends. Locke posits, however, some qualifications for the appropriation of the common. An individual has a natural right to acquire products of nature through his own labor at the condition that there is enough and as good left in common for others. And the other condition is that a man may own only as much as he tills, plants, improves, cultivates, and can use the product of. Locke was writing at the time when the economic and political power of the bourgeoisie was growing. Locke defended the bourgeoisie's way of accumulating wealth through investment in production on the grounds that it increases the wealth of the whole society. Locke argued that whoever, quote, "appropriates land to himself by his labor does not lessen the common stock of mankind, but increases it." I read this as a justification for the bourgeois mode of production for profit, as contrasted with the static feudal mode of production. The other important point that I would like to highlight is that England was just assuming a leading role in the world market, and it had become a major colonial power. And Locke himself had a position in the colonial administration, and he invested in colonial trade. So Locke's argument can also be interpreted to mean that the mode of production of the colonizers was superior to the subsistence economy of the indigenous peoples, that of course did not generate any profit or growth. With Locke and other classical liberals, labor came to be understood as the source of all wealth. According to Locke, quote, labor makes the far greatest part of the value of things we enjoy in this world. Quote ends. And this is the starting point of Adam Smith, whose thinking we will explore later. But before that, let us turn to the theory of the physiocratic school, which was active in France before the revolution.